If you love crypto and are invested only in crypto, you're making a huge mistake. And even if you do make a lot of money due to the proper context or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that the strategy was flawed. And therefore, what I tell people is to keep things balanced. And what I do is, once again, I want them to think for themselves. I want them to be good economic thinkers.
All right, everyone, welcome back. And we have a very special guest today on the channel. We have Andrei again. He's the author of the book, The Age of Anomaly, and the economist all the way from Romania. He is coming here for the second time. We had an amazing live session last time where we discussed about cryptocurrencies, the stock market, and other property investments, property as an investments. So in case if you have missed that live, I would recommend go ahead and watch that live. And thank you so much, Andrei, for coming back once again. I heard that your book is launching. That's pretty exciting. So can you put some lights on that? What exactly is it about?
Thank you, my friend, for having me on again. Thank you guys for listening to us. And yeah, I do have some pretty exciting news about the book. It's essentially two pieces of information. One, to kind of celebrate the launch and generate as much awareness as possible, I'm reducing the price from the usual, which is like $10. I'm reducing it to just 99 cents. So when this video is going to be released, during the August 6th to August 12th week, you guys can buy it. Let me just show it to you real quick. It's a huge book, like 400 plus pages, and you can buy it for essentially $1. And number two, once again, to generate awareness around my work, I have a huge contest going on over at my channel, 1 Minute Economics, that I invite you to check out. The prizes are very tempting for people in the crypto world. The first prize is 1 Bitcoin. The second prize is 1 Ether plus 1 Litecoin. Then I have 8 hardware wallets from Trezor. I have domain plus hosting packages. I have $100 Amazon gift cards and just a ton of cool prizes. And the main idea is that I'm encouraging people to spread the word about my book. So if you tell your friends on Facebook about it, you're going to have extra chances at winning. If you tweet about it, once again, more chances at winning. And stuff like that. So it is pretty exciting. I'm treating it as one big celebration, but we need to keep the goal in mind, which is to get as many people as possible exposed to these ideas and hopefully get as many of them as possible to do meaningful stuff and prepare.
Wonderful. So that the whole book is just for about 99 cents, just $1, is it?
Yep, exactly. And for people who buy it until Sunday, it's just going to be 99 cents.
Wow. Oh, wow. And on top of that, you mentioned some prizes that would be won, like a 1 Bitcoin and some cryptocurrencies. What are those prizes and how one can win those prizes?
Yeah, well, as someone who has some marketing experience, I know like the stakes are high. I want as many people as possible to find out about this book, to prepare for the next crisis that is coming. So in the end, I'm fighting a war for people's minds. And there's only one way to do it. If people don't know your book exists, correct, they cannot buy your book. They're never going to have access to your ideas. So through the contest, I'm basically keeping things logical, and I'm doing things to basically encourage people to spread the word. Because some people are active on LinkedIn. If they spread the word about my book there, they get extra chances. Some people have YouTube channels. Once again, if they release a video about my book, even better, extra chances. Some people have blogs. Some people are active on Facebook, on Twitter, or whatever. The end goal, essentially, is giving people an incentive to spread the word about my book. And by making the prizes very attractive, there are just tons of prizes, especially thanks to my sponsors who are very generous for this contest. People actually have an incentive to be engaged with the book, to tell others about it. And I just hope that, by generating this kind of a network effect around the book, I'm going to reach my one and only goal, which is getting access to as many minds as possible. Because with so many distractions out there, from Netflix to misinformation on the internet to just so much stuff that's competing for people's attention, I always find it sad that so few people think about the future. So few people prepare for the future. And basically, I knew that to get their attention, I have to be aggressive. I have to think outside the box. And through this contest, this is what I'm doing.
Right. So Andrei, can you explain me, like for some person, so the person who buys the book at $1 on Amazon, and then what does it do about that? How does he, like, how do you pick up the winner? Who is the winner for the contest?
Well, basically, you get, of course, extra chances for doing a bunch of stuff. Then for each thing, you're going to send me an email. And I have a video. By the time you release this, there's going to be a video with all the full rules and details and whatnot on 1 Minute Economics. And essentially, I'm going to go through all of these listings. I'm going to be careful one by one to make sure there are no fraudulent listings or people who don't deserve the extra chances. So I'm going to go through them one by one, and this is going to take a bit of time. And then in the end, for each of these situations, for each of the valid listings, I give people chances at winning. And in the end, those who get lucky, of course, we're going to win a bunch of awesome prizes. Because even if you don't win the Bitcoin, there are just tons of prizes, like 15 domain plus hosting packages, 50 hosting packages, Amazon gift card, just a ton of stuff to give people like a positive memory after the contest. And I really am thrilled about it.
Right. So basically, it's not just Bitcoin, but there are other cryptocurrencies also that can be won, and domains.
Yeah. For example, the second prize is 1 Ether plus 1 Litecoin. So I really did my best. I contacted sponsors. They were also generous, of course, and I did my best to put some awesome prizes on the table and kind of give people an incentive to tell others about my work.
Amazing. So I think the biggest prize would be from the knowledge that somebody would take from the book itself. Exactly. Because I think the kind of stuff that you've put into this big, you have been into the space for quite some time now, and you've been studying the different markets, cryptocurrencies market, the stock markets. And so tell us what is there in the book, and why is it so important for everyone to read this book?
Yes, it's important not to lose sight of the fact that the stakes are high. I'm not just the things I envision and I explain in the book, the big financial reset I believe we are in. These things are going to be life altering. Like you're going to see, it's impossible to hide from it. You're going to have people around you who lose their jobs. People are going to be depressed. Lives are going to be lost, are going to be ruined, as has happened many times throughout history. Unfortunately, when the things I'm referring to happen throughout history, it's never pretty, which is, you're 100% correct that leaving prizes and contests and all that stuff, the main thing people are going to get out of it is basically all of the information they need to position themselves properly and to protect their families. Fortunately, you have this huge privilege of watching this video now, when nobody around you is panicking. And now, right now, is the perfect time to prepare. Because if you wait, if you only start panicking when everyone else around you is panicking, then you can have the smartest economist in the world by your side, and there's not much he can do for you. So the number one takeaway for people should be this. Read the book. I keep things logical. I guide you through history, from the first recorded asset bubble, which is the tulip mania, all the way to modern day ones like the dot-com bubble, the Great Recession, even lesser known ones like the short domain mania of 2015 to 2016. I do this to help you better understand human nature, what makes us tick, why we sometimes get overly optimistic, and of course, why we sometimes then go into full-fledged panic mode. We then draw conclusions which are going to help you position yourself in a way that maximizes basically the likelihood that you're going to spot the next financial crisis early on. That's the first dimension of the book. And the second dimension, of course, is having the humility it takes to know that no matter how hard you try, you might still be taken by surprise. So therefore, let's spend just as much time and energy becoming more financially resilient in general, knowing which assets to invest in, why you invest in them, putting together your own plan, because I don't want to get people hooked on my predictions or myself. No, I want them to become good, independent economic thinkers. And that's what the Age of Anomaly is all about. From A to Z, in a way that's pleasant to read, that's easy to digest. I promise it's not a boring book written by, some random economics professor. No. Think of me as a friend who's just happens to be good at economics, who's talking to you and telling you from A to Z, look, here's what I think is coming, and most importantly, here's what I think you have to do. And if you take action today, then you have all of the conditions, I feel, to protect yourself, to protect your family. And no matter what you do, of course, it's not going to be pleasant, but essentially we're only going to do our best. And this is what I want to enable as many people as possible to do. It's why I'm all over YouTube now. It's why I have all of this, promo going on, contests, all that, to get people's attention, because the stakes are high. The stakes are immensely high.
Right. I think you mentioned that, right? The knowledge is power. If you're informed about it, if you have a good perspective about the history and what is coming next, I think you'll be better prepared. And then you will sorry, you're saying something.
Exactly. Like, way too many people. Why do so many people invest in a manic, depressive way? They get overly exuberant, and then they lose their minds and panic sell at the bottom. Why? They do it because most of them don't have a solid, foundation of knowledge. If you have this knowledge, and if you also have the mindset-related things working in your favor that I talk about in your book, then yeah, you will be able to be lucid when everyone around you will be panicking. And that right there is more than enough to put you light years ahead of the average person. Light years ahead, I think.
Right. So let's talk about this very interesting asset class which is emerging right now, which is cryptocurrency. This is something that we also discussed in the live, and you had some great insight. So what's your thought on the cryptocurrency space? How one should be looking at this overall space right now, as an investment or as a financial vehicle?
The number one thing I always tell to people is that if you're tech savvy enough to at least be able to use a smartphone, you owe it to yourself to learn more about crypto. But when you do get involved, and I'm telling you this as an economist who has an account at 17 exchanges from South Korea to Japan to the European Union or wherever, and I actually trade cryptocurrencies. I actually am involved. I don't just read about them. Never lose sight of the fact that crypto is not what you want it to be. It is what it is. Don't be surprised by these violent boom and bust cycles. It's what crypto has done all along. And if you're in it for the long haul, if you're in it for meaningful results, you have to play the game right. You have to expect that you're dealing with a very aggressive, very volatile market that a lot of times is going to move toward maximum pain for both buyers and sellers. You need to be mentally resilient. Once again, something I do my best to teach people in the book. It's not for everyone, but if you have the proper mindset, if you have the proper strategy, and if you can keep your mind clear during periods of excessive euphoria, as well as during periods when everyone is panicking, then crypto is precisely the type of asset that can give you life-altering returns.
So I think your basic message that you want to give out, that do not treat cryptocurrencies as the get-rich-quick scheme. And
no, but wait, yeah. Way too many people do this. Way too many people, they don't even care. And once again, once you read the book, and you're going to see many examples throughout history, it's not something that just happens with Bitcoin. No. But as of a certain point, people lose sight of the fact that, okay, for all the right reasons, cryptocurrencies are here to stay, and this is why they're special, and this is why you should be investing in them. No, people lose sight of that, and many come on board who don't care about the technology, who don't care about the meaningful economic potential of these projects, and they're only in it because they see that the prices have gone up and they want a piece of the action. Once again, this happens with all asset classes. It's not something specific to crypto. It's maybe exacerbated in sectors like cryptocurrencies, but yeah. If you are to play this game right, then you need to do your homework. You need to do your research, and you need to make sure your head is screwed on right. You need to make sure you have what it takes to play the mental game, which is just as important as having capital.
Right. I think the most people get burnt into cryptocurrency space because of the FUD and FOMO, is because their approach towards investing in cryptocurrencies is not what it ideally should be. And
I keep in touch with so many people who are traders in the cryptocurrency world. Like, not so long ago, I saw on the Bitcoin market subreddit that I also follow every now and then, these many stories of a person who was smart enough to make a lot of money. He started out with like $2,000 and was smart enough to turn this into 200 Bitcoin, I think, or so, at the height of his strategy. Mm-hmm. So essentially, he went from $2,000 to being worth in the millions. Then he lost a bunch, and he went back to $14,000. And then I think it was 10 days or so ago, he lost that as well. So smart people, brilliant people who were smart enough to make all this money in the first place, but by not having, the proper strategy in mind, by not having a clear enough head, when to take profits off the table, how much to take off the table, and things like that. I do hope for his sake, and I'm sure that if he's going to turn things around for them, and I genuinely hope and think he will, if he changes his strategy, then he can use that amazing brain of his that enabled him to make so much money in the first place to rebuild. But what I keep telling people is this: the mental game is just as important as anything else. So it's not for everyone. Fortunes can be made, fortunes can be lost, fortunes can be made and then lost, as we've noticed. And yeah, it's on you to play it right. And as you've pointed out correctly, once again, knowledge is power.
Perfect. Yeah, I think mental game is really important, not just in finances, not just in trading, but also in generally in our life, as to what do we envision and what do we actually decide for ourselves. So, what are the other assets that you would recommend, and what is your opinion on the other assets apart from cryptocurrencies, which you think have good potential and people can have like good store of value, or probably over a time it will grow up?
What I tell people in the age of anomaly is that no matter how passionate you are about a certain asset class, you cannot afford to be a one-trick pony. If you love crypto and are invested only in crypto, you're making a huge mistake. And even if you do make a lot of money due to the proper context or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that the strategy was flawed. And therefore, what I tell people is to keep things balanced. And what I do is, once again, I want them to think for themselves. I want them to be good economic thinkers. So what I do is I give them all the tools they need. I take them from asset class, from traditional ones like stocks, like real estate, like precious metals, to newer ones like cryptocurrencies, domain names, peer-to-peer lending, and so on. And I give them everything they need to build their own strategy. Should you invest in real estate? It depends. If you live in Egypt and are only, or a less politically stable country, maybe not. Otherwise, there might be very good opportunities in your country. It depends. Should you invest in, stocks in your local market? Once again, it depends. Don't ask me to tell you. And this is what I tell people, I'm going to give them the context. I'm going to give them the information. I'm going to give everything they need, including a way to build a strategy. And that, by leveraging that knowledge, they're going to put together their own personalized portfolio. They're going to say, for myself, for someone in my situation, I need to invest in this asset. Why? For this reason, for that reason, for this reason. I want to invest also in that asset. Why? For this reason, for that reason. It's going to be firmly entrenched in your subconscious what you want to invest in, why you want to invest in, and how you should do it. And in the end, you're going to make it a goal to have exposure, not right away, but you're going to make it a goal to eventually have exposure to all of these assets. And it's precisely this level-headed strategy that's going to enable you to be lucid and hunting for opportunities when people are panicking. So when there's a stock market crash and you have people bottom selling their portfolio because they think the sky is falling and they're so worried, even if they are, for legitimate reasons, you're going to be able to say, wait a second, I actually want this stock. Actually want that stock. I'm actually looking at the price and I think it's a good buying opportunity. So you're going to be able to remain lucid when people are panicking. And the same way, you're going to be able to be fearful, like Warren Buffett says, be fearful when everyone else is greedy and greedy when everyone else is fearful. You're going to be able to do that. By a proper combination between knowledge and a strong mental game, it can be done. It can be done, and literally anyone can do it.
Well, I think it's a must-read book for anyone who is investing into crypto, irrespective of whether he's investing into cryptocurrency or not. But if you're investing in cryptocurrency, I think it's a must-read, because then you'll have an overview of what exactly is going on to the economy, and then you'll be able to choose the best asset class for yourself, and you can probably take the best decision for yourself. So let's talk about the book a little bit more. Of course, the book is must-read. Now, let's talk about a little bit contest. So what is the first thing that should one do in order to buy a book and then participate in the contest that you're running?
Well, what they should do is very carefully listen to the rules. Like when this video is going to come out, there's going to be a video on 1 Minute Economics. So just visit youtube.com/1 Minute Economics, where I'm going to make it clear what you can do, what the rules are. And the basic idea is that I want to reward you for telling others about my book. And
Right.
again, it all depends on you. Like if you have a really strong Facebook account, then I'm going to give you extra points. If you don't have that many friends on Facebook, you can still promote the book, but I'm not going to give you as much in terms of a bonus. The same way, it depends on how active you are on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on your website, on your podcast, on your YouTube channel. I try to keep an open mind and make it possible for everyone to participate, because no matter, you don't have to be an influencer on social media or whatever, you probably have friends on Facebook.
Right.
That stuff counts a lot. So just for simply writing a Facebook post and saying, hey, this is the book, The Age of Anomaly. I read it. I think it's good. I think people need to know more about these things. Why don't you read it as well? So just by writing a quick message, you do two things. One, you give people exposure to my ideas, and to some of them, even reading about these things and thinking about these things can be a life-altering thing. So on the one hand, you're doing a good thing. And on the other hand, of course, you will be rewarded with extra chances at winning. So this is what I try to do in all of my projects. Keep it win-win. And essentially, through this contest, we are working towards the same goal, which is raising awareness, getting people to listen. This is the battle we're fighting, and I think we can win it.
No, I think it's a great message for everyone, because what happens when we seriously like a book, we really want to tell this to the world, and doesn't matter like how many people are there on the social media. It all depends on, this is something that I think that people should go ahead and read, and and in just that, going ahead and sharing that with us, so that just like I have got the benefits from this book, let others also get benefits from the book. And on top of that, of course, you can win a prize as well for doing that. So that's an amazing process. Andrew, any final thoughts before we actually wrap up this video?
Only one, which is what I keep telling people. Whatever it is, I'm begging you to do something. If you choose to buy the book, of course, do it this week. It's practically for free at just 99 cents. Buy it, read it, take advantage of the information that's there. If not, that's fine. The same way, I would be happy to have you as subscribers on 1 Minute Economics.
Right.
But if not, that's fine. Whatever you do, whether your solution includes me or not, the only thing I'm begging you to do is to take some form of meaningful action. Think about what we've discussed today. Think about your financial future. Think about the unstable nature of, the things around us, economically speaking, and find a way to take some kind of decisive action. Don't close this browser tab. Don't head over to Netflix and binge watch things. Don't. Just take a little bit of time away from your day-to-day activities and think about these things. Think about what we've discussed today, and especially take it from thinking about them to doing something.
Right. I think some of the best things that that are available in this world are actually, you don't have to pay a lot. In fact, most of the best things are actually free. Just like this book right now, you're giving just for $1. I think not even 99 cents. And I'm sure there's so much of knowledge that one really needs to go through in order to
like if I were to, if I were to think about how many books I've read and how much stuff, I could probably fill this room easily with books and material and all of the stuff that I've read over my career, over my years, throughout my career, to kind of get this level of knowledge. So just a ton of material that I've read. And then you take the things I went through, the assets I've invested in, the experience I've accumulated, the thousands of hours I've invested to accumulate this experience. And yeah, you're right. Like, I'm basically packaging absolutely everything I know in this book. And that's the beauty of the internet. For just $1, you can basically get access to my life's work, to everything I've learned, to everything I've done. It's all condensed. It's all, even more so, it's all presented in an entertaining way, in an easy to understand way. You're actually going to, I believe, enjoy reading the book. You're going to enjoy it. And most importantly, even if the things we're discussing are dead serious, but even so, don't become depressed. Don't panic. It's not going to do you any good. Just arm yourself with knowledge. Put the tips I'm providing in the Age of Anomaly to good use, and you're going to do so much better. Of course, it's not going to be pleasant. Of course, it's going to be, a difficult time for people in your family, for your friends. So it's not like you're going to enjoy yourself, oh my God, when things go wrong, just because you're well prepared. No, but you are going to do your best. You're going to land on your feet. Your family is going to go through it fine. And in the end, take it from someone who has been through rock bottom. I haven't had an easy run in life, and I do make it my life's mission in a way, and it's probably what drove me to writing this book. I want as few people as possible to go through the things I went through. And if I'm able, and I am, to give them the knowledge they need to kind of maximize the likelihood that they're going to do very well, financially speaking, I'm going to do it.
No, you're right. Actually, I think, I'm a reader, and this is what I believe, that just like the workout, is what your workout does for your body is the same thing that reading does to your mind. It actually
Exactly.
makes it stronger, and it helps you stronger. And it's simple thing. If you're strong enough, you can take the good decision for yourself.
Exactly. And the things you read today are basically seeds that you plant in your mind, and they're going to germinate, and they're going to give you, you know, they're going to generate dividends for the rest of your life. The things you read today you're going to be able to put them to good use forever. And that's the value of information, of knowledge. It's just so truly awesome.
You know what, this reminded me of something. This is something that we spoke on the live, that the best investment is that investment in yourself, and a lot of people don't
Exactly.
realize it.
Exactly. Like even reading a book, reading this specific book, and then actually using the tips I provide. For many people, this is going to make the difference between losing it all and essentially saving their families. Like, it's unbelievable how high the stakes are. And never lose sight of the fact that, this game is dangerous. Unprecedented things are going to happen. Generation defining things are going to happen. And at this point, it's just so great that you have an opportunity to arm yourself with knowledge and do something. You're going to do it before it's too late. You're going to do it when things are relatively calm and nobody's going crazy around you. So whatever it is you do, guys, do it as soon as possible.
Right. Well, with that. Thank you so much, Andre, for giving your time. I think the book is only available for 99 cents. It's a must-read book for everyone. Go ahead, buy it, share your feedback. How did you like it? And you may get rewards as well into cryptocurrencies for that. So thank you so much for coming on the show, Andre, once again, and talk to you soon.
Thank you once again for having me on. And I genuinely hope people were able to extract a ton of value from the things we've discussed. Take care, guys.
Take care.